Okay, guys, welcome to the part two of this edition. From the first edition, we went through, solving problems created by, the film lot 2383 Kodak. So now we're done solving the problems. We're here to create looks. And remember, I told you to create looks is not magic. You get sometimes you might even just see that you created a look already just by solving problems. So we just go around the images, take a look at it, and then we decide what to do on each group. So let's start with the first one. Looking at it, I think I really like the look already. You have to understand that what makes an image beautiful, it's contrast, it's complement. When I say contrast and complement, what I'm trying to say is, so for example, you can see the skin is contrasting with her black top. You can see some blue sky over here, which is what create that contrast. You can see the greens, contrasting with these yellow houses. All those create contrast. So you can choose to leave it like this, or you choose to go further. But the guy who sent these images to me, my brother in the United States, I think he loves to go with that cool blue orange kind of look. So I'll just try to do that. I'll work under the group note. So I'll come over to the next note, which was free, and say this is my look. And yeah, I'm gonna say, hey, I want to have that blue cool teal look, but still keeping the skin. So I'll come over here and say, hey, take away some reds. When you want cool colors, you have to take away warm colors. So take away one red. So you see what we're having. I like that. It's even giving me some colors on the greens. I think I like this because most times I don't like to go too far. I don't like to go too far. Let me look at the whole shot so you see before, after. You see this? Before, after. I just took away one red. So you see it's giving me that cool look, but yet still very, the skin is still very poppy, and you're still having that natural feeling you get. So for me to finalize this look, I'll do what I always like to do, which is balancing the shadows, because what makes it look very natural is if you balance your shadows. It has to be a natural black, not blue black or yellow black. So when the shadows are naturally black, gray black, you have this natural feeling, because in real life shadows are always in normal gray black. You get, shadows don't have colors in real life. So when you remove the colors from your shadows, you have this film quote unquote looks. So let's try to balance our shadow. And by balancing our shadows, we're going to go to the log wheels and push a little, because we have some blue in the shadows. Our eyes might not be able to see them, but if you look closely, very carefully, you see that the shadows are kind of blue. So add just a little red. No, a little opposite of blue is red. This is the opposite of this blue. You see, add a little bit of this color in the shadows. So I'll start here and I'll do this. Okay, see what we have already. See what we have. So this is before and after. You see what it does? It adds some colors to even the skin, because you're just balancing everything. Look at the trees here. It gets more life when you do that. And you can even decide to work on the range. This is too much, but just find the right spots where you feel like everything just feels natural. Then you can leave it there. Kind of like it here because it feels natural. With this, it's for me, it's cool. What I just need to do now is maybe work on focusing the object or relighting, just to help the eyes get more focus. For example, I could just come here and say, hey, I'll just create something like this. And then I just invert it and come over to primaries. Under gamma, I take it down. So I'll just take it down very pretty small. Not something the eyes can see. Just something that the eyes you just feel it, you don't see it. It draws your eyes directly to this subject here. There's a lot of distraction in the shot. Without this, you see it's just flat, everything it's on your face. But when you put this, you see this, it gives you that sense of vision, tells you, hey, look at this. This is what you should be looking at. And this is what makes, color grading beautiful. We could do that too here. We could say, hey, just copy this and paste. We can do that too here, just to help draw the eyes towards the subject more. So you can see how we separate the image without selecting the skin, without qualifying the skin, without qualifying anything. But you can still see everything popping out naturally and beautifully. So I think this one goes for my looks. So I'll just save this. Let's grade this one. Let's go for the cool looks. I'll come over to the group post clip. Over to this node. First of all, we want to get that cool, bluish effect, but still keeping the skin, remember. So we see that our skies are pretty it's cool, but not too cool. Has some warm shades in it. So I just want to bring that cool color in. And how do I bring it? I'll use the log wheels and come over to the highlight. And on the highlight, I'm going to start pushing that cool colors and then work with the range to see where I'm affecting. So I'm gonna say, hey, go down to that cyany color. So you see this. So if you go too much, you start looking like an amateur. So you have to be very wise when you do this. I'm going to open my vector scope so I see what I'm doing. I think I like this. I'm getting something, but I think under the clip, I need to take away one magenta. So all this only comes. Okay. And I'll come over here and try to adjust it more. I want to stay more on the cool side. I'll adjust the range. So you can see what we're getting. We're bringing that coolness inside, but then we're keeping the skin as natural as possible. Let's check the next shot. You see the next shot. See, this is before and this is after. We're bringing the cool inside, but then we're keeping it as natural as possible. Okay, so you see what we're getting, and I mean, these are just the basics. You start getting the idea. This is a Kodak 2383 film lot. This is what we're getting from the lot, and with all the adjustments we did, this is what we're getting. So it's natural. You could decide, hey, I want to add the light on the skin. So just come over here, like I told you on the last group, and go to your primaries, gamma, just pop it up a little. So you can see the effect. So it's very natural. You don't see anything like someone has added it. Same here, you could do the same thing. Just copy this and paste here. And if you feel like this is too much, you can just take it down a little. So this is all about color grading. You're more fixing problems than really creating something, you get. Because most times our cameras are not always the best. The lighting is not always the best. Things around are not always the best. So for you to make it look good, you have to fix those problems. And when you come over here, just look at this and let's think of our guy, Elvis Achiri, who likes the cool look. Let's come over to the group and then let's say, hey, take away some red. Yes, take away some red. You can see this. I'm beginning to get that blue I want. And then if I come over here, I can see this. So sometimes I like to go with very natural looks like that. If I really want to push it too much, I could come over to the log wheel and say, hey, highlight. Give me some bluish, greenish. So I'll try to not take it too far and then work with my range. So, see this? And then I'll just leave it around here. So, you see before and after. So I'm beginning to bring more blue or more cool tones since it's night. But then I'm not destroying the skin. And I'm still keeping the yellow on the bobs. So you see this? Okay, we have some more to go. Let's go over to this one. How do we want to enhance this image? Remember, what makes an image beautiful is contrast and complement. So you have to complement things. You have to get contrast to get beautiful images. So the first thing I'll do here is I'll try to work on the contrast, because I feel like the contrast between these clothes and the background is still not very deep enough to give me that beauty. So I'll need to make this contrast more. I need to separate it more. So I'll use the curves. I'll create 3 points. 2, 3, and then I'll start working the contrast. I'll make sure I look at my waveform. So I'll start going down while looking at this. Do you see what I'm doing? You see what I'm doing? So look at before and look at after. So this is before and after. This is already looking much better because of the contrast already. So now let's go with our look, the cool look for our cool guy. And okay, look at this shot from the same scene. So you see the contrast is good. This is before and this is after. So this is what really gives that film approach. And then let's get the cool look. And looking at this, what we can do to get the cool look is just work on the whites. because the whites have some middle gray kind of color, but I want to push some coolness into the whites. So I'll come over here, I'll keep these notes for something. So let's not go far. Don't forget, the simpler the better. Let's take it very gently, and then let's play with the wrench, and then let's look for a glue. So you see this? Just by the log wheel. See how important the log wheel is? And see this too. If I say, hey, I want to get the skin more saturated, I could come over here and say, hey, saturation, click on the skin, and just come up a little. Yeah, and maybe tweak the color of the skin under my U versus U. I just tweak the color of the skin because I feel like the skin is kind of orangey. I need it to be more on the red skin tone line. So something like this, not too much. Something like this works. And even here, still see how it works. So you could decide to say, hey, the saturation is too much, I just want it down a little. Still goes that way, but you get the idea. Thank you once again for sticking out to the end, and if you watched this video till the end, I know you obviously have learned something. And if you did learn something, don't forget to share this with other filmmakers so we all can learn and grow. Remember, we only rise by lifting others. So share this video so everyone can watch and learn what you just learned today. Thank you once again. My name is Dr. Ken Stevens, aka Mr. We take another shot, and see you next time. Okay, we take another shot. We take another shot.